Okay, now.
Really, we're live now.
Yeah.
Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to the second installment of the XDF Academy. With me today are Dekry,
Hello.
Kezabot,
Hi.
you should remember these two from last time, and also Paker, but he's a little bit shy. I don't know if he wants to talk.
I don't talk with anyone.
Yeah, so, he's a bit of a weirdo. We kinda, we don't really like him around here, but, he's here with us, helping us with the technicals, and today we are going to be showing you guys, first of all, a couple more advanced strafe map techniques, sort of, or concepts. We're going to be going over those in a minute. Then we've got ramps, jump pads, teleporters, and most importantly, we're going to give you guys a little bit of a crash course for all the weapons in Zonotic. Now, I know that there are like 1 or 2 reflex players watching. It's important to point out, weapons in this game are quite different from Quake or reflex weapons, and not everything we say will apply in the same way in reflex. So just take everything there with a grain of salt. This is a tutorial for Zonotic. We don't guarantee any, any warranty, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and we're also gonna talk about ramps, jump pads, and tellies because we couldn't fit that in the previous part. So, Donald, should we start from that?
I mean, we can start from this or from that. Up to you.
All right, let's just get it out of the way, and because we do have to talk about it. That just a nice way, before the weapons. Then we can focus on the weapons, I guess.
Alright, so okay, I want to start on this map though. So,
Okay.
last time I introduced something called jump timing. This is called spacing in reflex, apparently, which is the points at which your feet hit the ground, right? So if you have pads, your spacing or jump timing has to be aligned with these pads in order to not fall down. So this is a good example of that because these pads totally do not work for Quake. Or Quake-like movement, I guess, because you can see I just fall down, no matter what I do. And there's one way to get through this, which is called snaking. Or, I don't know what Dekry called it, was some weird shit, but like, basically...
Sweeping. I call it sweeping because it sounds like it looks like you're sweeping a floor with a broomstick.
So you switch between A and D turns, which we explained last time, and that way you can sort of wiggle your way through these pads. But you can see you only get out with like 740 UPS. That's not good. So there is a way on this map to start quicker, I guess, accelerate more. And if you look at this room, very quickly you might notice it. I'll give you guys 5 seconds.
He gives you 5 seconds.
This is Dora the Explorer, but XDF edition. Alright, so the answer is these things on the side. The route that you want to do at the start is this.
Nice,
not
dude.
that. Yeah, you want to use these pillars on the side so that you can use your spacing there and just accelerate all the way through. And this is important for every map because on every map there's going to be some uncomfortable spacing. There's going to be some suboptimal spacing or stuff like that. I mean, you really need to just figure out ways that you can get around those and try to optimize your run from there. I'm going to show you guys another example of this on a map called Dawn Strafe 06, which is a great strafe map. I would recommend this to everybody. It looks great. It's a fun map. Try it out if you want.
Yes, it's good. Good. Very good.
Extremely good. The best.
The best.
People always call me and they say, wow, this map is so good. Alright, so as you can see, this is a pretty straightforward start. You have this little starting area up here.
1 second,
You
Donald.
jump down.
Hold on.
Yeah?
I have some colors too crazy. Okay, go.
Alright, so yeah, like I said, there's this little starting nook or platform, I guess, up here. You go down there and blah blah blah, right? Pretty straightforward. Now, if you were to look at this map in a very non-critical manner, this would be exactly the path you would take, right? But let's say you want to be faster. You can see there are these ramped areas, and there's also this little, like, railing around it, I guess. And look, you can get on top of this railing. So what you actually want to do, which is a much faster starting strat, is do this. Land on that little ramp. That way you gain like 150, 200 UPS, and you also get much better spacing for the rest of the map.
Yeah.
So this is just something that you really need to be able to look out for when you get on a map.
Yeah.
And this is something, yeah?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't forget to tell them that the speed that you're getting depends on, well, first of all, the slope, how steep it is, and second, the height that you're jumping from. Because as you're falling, you're gaining vertical velocity. Because I guess I assume we're talking about ramps right now, in a way.
Well, yeah, sure. Like, that vertical velocity is converted into horizontal velocity, also known as speed, by a ramp. So this is why this route is so much faster.
Yeah.
So again, this is just, this is not like a general rule or anything, but you need to be able to look out for these kinds of things on maps. Because this is like probably a 0.8 improvement over the normal route, which is a lifetime in Zonotic defrag. That will definitely make the difference between like a number 1 and a number 2, for sure.
Yeah. And since we're talking about the height, maximum height, you should try to land at the furthest point possible on that slope.
Yeah, you don't want to land here, you want to land down there.
Yeah. And this concept applies to basically everything. Unless, there is some messed up spacing and you would want to avoid that. But usually, if the map is laid out in a good way and the mapper is not smoking anything bad, then yeah, should work the same way.
There's another ramp jump later on in this map, which I think is important to talk about. So if I go, along my normal route, there's a ramp jump here, but this is not that important. What's actually important are these two ramps coming up now, this and that.
Yeah.
Which allows me to skip over this entire turn, allows me to save a lot of time. This is what's called a double ramp jump for obvious reasons. You ramp jump once here, and then once there. And this is a quirk that's specific to Zonotic. In Reflex and Quake, one single ramp jump will give you a lot of height. But in Zonotic, one single ramp jump gives you a lot less height. But if you do 2 quick ramp jumps in quick succession like that, you will gain the same amount of height that you would gain in Quake or Reflex. Now this might be a little bit confusing for you guys, and we're definitely going to come back to this if we do more episodes of this. But that's just a little thing to consider, is that this turn is possible because there are 2 ramps here. If it was just one ramp, like one ramped surface, you wouldn't be able to get up there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, I don't know if this map is on the server.
Yeah.
Nice! Okay.
Oh, yes.
This is a map that I think most of you who have already played Defrag or Reflex are definitely familiar with. It's a brilliant map made for the 2017 DFWC, and it's a strafe map that relies a lot on ramps to gain momentum. And I think this is a very good example to show why it's... Yeah?
Need to spec it, yeah.
So, immediately the start here has a ramp. And you want to maximize the amount of times you hit this ramp. So I will hit this ramp twice. Look at it again. 1, no, I didn't hit it there. 1, 2. Right? So, ideally I would want to hit that as well. But it always depends on your route. Once, twice, 3 times. I missed that one. And then this is the very important part. You want to make sure that you land on a ramp here. You do not want to land on like that surface up there, because I've seen some people do that, go up there and then go through this to try to cut the turn. But in reality, it's a lot faster to just hit the ramp here. Now again, this is all stuff that you would be much better off learning by just looking at the number 1 runs, which, by the way guys, you can do in Zonotic. You can just look up the map name on YouTube, and Paker, our technical wizard over here, is going to have uploaded it to his YouTube account, which is called Paker Zonotic, one word. But yeah, again, you can just search the map name and you'll find it consistently.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, this is
like where I was. I wanted to say that you could jump on that slanted surface, because it's below the one that you jumped on earlier.
Yeah.
So this is good too. And yeah,
So,
ideally you would want to jump on that one.
you want to maximize the amount of height that every ramp bounce receives. You don't want the amount of height that you cover in one jump to go to waste if it's possible for you to use it on a ramp. Like, let's say I do it like this. I get one ramp bounce and then I completely miss the second ramp. But you can see I still covered a lot of height from up there to down here. That's a lot of height that goes unused because I don't hit a ramp. So you want to find the middle ground so that you can hit that ramp twice. Here again, if I made that, you really want to be hitting that ramp.
Or the one below it, I mean, that one is also good, right?
Or this one, yeah.
No, this one right there. You know, there are three ramps, but the one that is below every ramp is good. Also, really depends. I mean, you could sometimes it depends on the route, right, Donald? Because sometimes the lowest possible ramp is not the best choice.
Yeah.
But
that is what you want to do right there. What I did was, let me just get there again. So what I did basically was, I did this part completely normally. This is not really that important. But what's important here is I double jumped here and there.
Yeah.
And then I barely got over this part. Like, I barely gained any excess height so that I can hit this ramp as quickly as I can. And then, yeah, I guess if you want, we can play the demo for this map.
Yeah, sure.
So you guys are going to see my PB on this map, and this map is also, in addition to being a great place to learn about ramps, it's a great place to practice your turn control, because you're going to be zooming through this area right here at about 2500 UPS if you're really trying to get a competitive time. And it's really difficult to make a good turn, or that many long good turns rather, at such a speed.
Okay, let's see the demo. So it's 2017-6. There it is. I want to make sure that. Hold a second. Okay. Fast forwarding. Just letting Donald know, because he can't see this. Are the comments all right there, Donald? Can you check real quick?
Yeah, no, I don't see any questions.
Okay.
Oh, Boost is watching. Hello, Boost.
Reflex?
Yeah.
Okay, so he does a really good second touchdown there on the ramp, because it's at the lowest point possible. He skips that ramp he was talking about earlier. Oh wait, that's a faulty one. Sorry guys. Okay. By the way, we should mention that the walking speed on this map is 400 Quake units per second.
Yes, this map is what's called a haste map, such that in Quake there's a pickup called haste, which will make you faster in every way. You will accelerate faster, you will walk faster.
Alright, Donald,
yeah.
the run is going right now, so I have to...
Alright.
Okay, let's see what he does here. Depends on... Okay, he doesn't have to double jump, he just flies over that window. Let's see where he lands. There are 3 possible ramps. He lands on the first one, but that gives him a good height, so he can really benefit on the second ramp. Alright. Oh, that's... I've never used that route, actually. I would go on the right. Okay, some slick part here. 2600, really good. Pretty good touchdown here on this ramp right there. And he's gonna hit this ramp as well. Very nice. So these are all AD turns, obviously. Loses a little bit of speed there with that turn. Well, you could basically get that because the speed is too high. Barely makes that window. Doesn't go on that ramp because that would be slower. Hits the base of that ramp. We should probably talk about where you should hit the ramps and how you should hit them as well. And just a good old straight till finish. Okay, I'm back on the server.
Alright, so we're going to explain a couple things about ramps. Most of this should be intuitive, but we're still going to go over it.
Yeah.
So, obviously, for downward ramps, the more height you have, like the further you fall, the more speed you're going to gain from a ramp like this. That's pretty obvious, you know. I don't think that needs to be explained. For upward ramps, which is I think what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to an upward ramp. There's one right here. You want to hit it like this. You want to have a jump immediately before the ramp, like right here.
Yeah.
And then you want to have a jump on the ramp. This will combine the upward momentum of the first jump and the upward momentum that you would get from the ramp hit. What I don't want to see is something like this.
Yeah, that totally ruins your speed, totally.
Yeah, where you go into the ramp with already having negative vertical momentum. Like you're already falling down while you're hitting the ramp, and that will just fuck you up, basically.
Yeah.
What else do we need to explain? You can change the angle at which you approach the ramp. When in the run, you didn't see me going at the ramp perpendicularly. Instead, I was going almost like this. And the reason for that is, if you go at a ramp perpendicularly, you will lose a lot of speed, but you will also gain a lot of height. That's a trade-off that you're gonna have to memorize. Whereas like this, you can see I barely gained any height. I barely made the jump to that platform, but I lost almost no speed. Right?
Yeah, there is no wrong or right way of doing it because it depends on the situation. I mean, there's a right or wrong way of doing it in context, though. If you want to gain height, then you should hit the ramp, you know, face
head on.
Head on, thank you. Or you could hit it like with your side, with your right butt cheek or your left one.
So yeah, that's really all you need to know about ramps. Everything will come in the context of the map, you know. The way you approach every ramp, or you don't, you know, some ramps you want to skip, will be decided in the context of the map. So like I said, this is the moral of the story here. This is the lesson to learn. Look at the #1 runs that other people have done, because they're freely available. You can look at them whenever you want on YouTube, and that's really the best place to learn, because we can explain this to you, but for you to really learn, you would have to play actual maps and use these concepts in the context of a run.
Wait, Donald, can you demo the higher jump real quick for that ramp, because you've done a really good low jump, meaning conserving as much velocity as you can.
Oh, sure.
So what Donald's gonna do now, he's gonna show you what it looks like if he hits it head on. What happens? Pay attention to the speed, pay attention to the height.
You can
see
I
how
lost
much?
Almost 200 units for no reason, because I didn't need the excess height.
Yeah,
you can see I was flying over the course.
Yeah, the excess height was actually very, very apparent there. So you would want to do that only when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
I think maybe we could also go on to the second part of the ramps, the Paker tackles part.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So Paker here.
Paker, this is Paker's map. Paker's also a mapper, guys. So
yeah,
I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about something that you called it ramp walking, I believe?
Yeah, but I don't like this term I made up. Maybe like you slide off the ramp? Or ramp walking actually describes it pretty well. Okay, let's see.
Something like that. Alright, first thing I actually want to explain before we do that is this is a very, very unique scenario. But you can see how the starting area is much higher than the I guess the area where you're supposed to go. So normally people would just jump, right?
Yeah.
They would jump off the start, but that's slower because you can see I have to delay myself. I have to go straight first and then eventually turn into here.
Yeah.
The faster way to do it is to do what Smilescythe called a jump skip, which is completely without jumping. Do the circle jump movement off the map. You guys remember, if you watched part 1, I really stressed the importance of practicing on the ground. for when you're practicing circle jumps, and this is exactly the movement that you want to make here, just without the jump. See that? Alright, now let's move on to the ramp walking.
Yeah, this is the place.
You can see how there's this platform that I want to go to. Let's say I come up here with like 200 units per second, worthless, right? I won't be able to get a ramp jump off this ramp with 200 units per second and get up there. So what I want to do instead is walk, like basically circle jump on this ramp. You can see how I do a 90-degree turn, and then I jump. So, I don't know, there's not much to explain here. It's just a circle jump on the ramp surface. This will give you enough height to get up here.
Right, but for the beginners out there, there's actually a simpler way of doing it. Yeah, just walk up without the circle jump. If you find, you have a lot of trouble doing the circle jump plus the ramp walking, try walking first. Of course, the circle jump is better because you have more speed on the output. Right, Donald? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and also you're getting a better height, like a more optimal height in this case. So can we see it in action, like from start? How would you approach that? Okay, so jump, skip there. I mean,
you can see how I landed on the edge of the platform that was furthest away from the ramp. If I land here, that's going to be the worst spacing I could possibly have for this ramp. So the better way to approach that situation, if you're in that, is to just do a ramp walk, I guess, is what Dekry called it.
Yeah, ramp walk.
And this is also a great map to showcase ramps, so if you want, we can show the demo for it.
Yeah, it's a nice demo. We can show it. Paker tacos.
Don't worry, guys, we're gonna get to the weapons soon. We're just covering a couple more things here.
Yeah, ramps are kind of important. I mean, you see them a lot. Actually, I think of ramps as like spices for the map.
Yeah.
It's like without them, it's pretty
bland.
Exactly. Donald taking his sweet time. Ooh, spoilers there.
Mirio, yes, you almost always want to hit any downward ramps to gain more speed. If there is a downward ramp, you probably want to hit it. There are exceptions to this, like where you would really have to go out of your way to hit a ramp, and at that point it would be slower. But that always depends on the map. That's always up to the map itself.
Okay, I think this is the run. Yeah, at this point he hits the ramp, not hitting the base because it doesn't matter in this case. Does this circle jump, really fast one, almost in motion. Very good ramp there. Okay, and basically what he did there, he didn't actually use the ramp, he just used the edge of the ramp, because that conserved his speed to 100%. Alright, now there's this big ramp, we'll see how he hits it. Yeah, just barely hits it at the base. Now he didn't hit it at the side too much because he wanted that height gain. So everything we talked about checks out here pretty well. Yeah, nice first.
I think that wraps it up for ramps, right?
Yeah.
Alright, if anyone has any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on to jump pads. And there's really not that much to know about jump pads.
Yeah. There's only one simple rule.
One rule, basically.
Yeah. Do you want to explain this, or shall I?
Yeah, I'll get on a map that has it. So, basically the rule is, you want to hit a jump pad at a spot that is furthest away from its intended direction. Now, this sounds really complicated when I say it, but when I show you how it works, it's really simple. Because when you hit it at a spot that is furthest away from its intended direction, blah blah blah, you will gain more speed. I don't know why this happens, but I know this happens in Reflex as well, so Reflex players listen up. Here's a jump pad, right? Are you spectating?
Yeah.
So if it's going to take me up there, which means that its intended direction is that way. This is closest to its intended direction. You can see the speed that I will get is 244 units. If I go to the other side, the speed I get is 393 units. That's almost twice as much. Again, 393 if I hit it furthest away from its intended direction. 254-ish if I hit it over there.
Hit it in the middle.
327.
See, it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah, it's a gradient.
And this is going to be the case for all jump pads. So any jump pad on any map that you see is going to behave like this. Now, this effect scales with the speed that the jump pad is supposed to put you out at. Let's assume this was a 2,000 unit jump pad. So this would be 2,000. That would be 3,000. That's a huge difference that would definitely make it run.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to go on another map that has this.
Okay. So it does not depend on what speed you have initially before hitting the jump pad. It's completely irrelevant. And many people wonder why they're always getting different speeds, and they think it's random, it's buggy, blah blah. But really, the point that you hit the jump pad on has to be furthest from its destination to get maximum height.
Now, if you look at the way that the strafing would work on this map, are you spectating?
Yeah.
The way that you strafe here will put you almost in front of the jump pad, and people will normally, because they don't know this, they will hit the jump pad on the edge that is closer to the intended direction. Like, they will hit it right here, because they think it's faster. But it's faster to slow down earlier and hit it on this side, because this way I can hit this ramp down here. If I don't do that, and I instead go to the side that is, closer to the intended direction, I pretty much won't be able to hit that. Unless I'm really good at strafing, which I'm not. So I wasn't able to hit this big downward ramp. And this is why it's important to pay attention to the details. Something as little as that speed difference from the jump pad gives me a bigger speed difference of about 300 units per second later on, simply because of this downward ramp. And you might hear my cat in the background complaining, but don't worry about that.
That's cute, dude.
So yeah, you can see I very nicely get to that jump pad, and then after that, it's just running. That's beyond what we're explaining here. So
yeah,
the rule that you need to keep in mind, this is really simple. Hit a jump pad furthest away from its intended direction.
Yeah, and it's very simple, but again, not many people know it. It's quite useful information. I think we're done with that jump pads. There's not really anything else we can talk about here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the next topic is teleporters, and we're also gonna, I guess, rush through this because there's not much to explain.
There's again one simple rule, really.
Yeah, one simple rule. The maximum exit speed for a teleporter in Zonotic, this is Zonotic only, I guess, is 600 units per second. And this is, so if you enter a teleporter with 2,000 units per second, you will come out with 600. The one way that you can use this to your advantage is if a map has a teleporter before the starting line, like this map does. If I were to normally strafe here, the first checkpoint is 2.61. If I, however, use this teleporter, the checkpoint is 2.3. That saved 0.3 seconds. Me simply going down here and abusing the teleporter exit speed. Yeah,
Donald,
you
should mention though, when you're falling, you do want to strafe a little bit to gain horizontal speed.
So if you get, the thing here is the teleporter here is quite low. So vertical speed matters when you enter a teleporter. Even with 0 horizontal momentum, I was able to get 600 exit speed, simply because my vertical momentum from falling is so high.
That's true.
If a teleporter is very close to this pad, like let's say right there, I would have to try to do something like this, where I fall into the teleporter with horizontal momentum. But in this case, I can just abuse it like that.
Yeah.
Now, there's really not much else to say here. Just keep this in mind. Look out for this when there's a teleporter below you that is, that is before the start. Use it. Because,
Yeah, there also, if there's a conventional teleporter, not, the teleporter area, but, well, actually, this could be also translated into that. But what I'm trying to say is, when you enter a teleporter that is on the floor, or not on the floor, on the wall, or something like that, then when you exit the teleporter, you should get into strafe right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't wait like half a second. What you want to do is strafe immediately.
Yeah. Just choose a direction, whether it's going to be left or right, and then just find that strafe region as soon as possible after the tele exit. It's actually one of the reasons why I don't like teles as much, because it just puts a little bit of stress on the exit. You need to react fast.
Yeah.
And really, if you have it in the middle of the map, then it can affect your run dramatically if you don't exit very well. Even if you had a really, really good strafe speed in the beginning, and then you enter the tele, basically it overrides. Everything starts from the beginning.
Yeah. And like I said, the maximum exit speed is 600. Keep that in mind. That's not easy. That's not difficult to remember.
Yeah.
So I think that would conclude that part. I think we're gonna move on to the weapons.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
Absolutely fine. We covered everything.
All right. If there are any questions in chat, hit us up. Otherwise, we're gonna move on.
How does the chat look, by the way?
It looks pretty good. Boosta
Okay.
has been explaining the jump pad thing in Reflex and Quake.
Okay.
Alright, the first thing I want to cover is rockets. Are you spectating? This is a very simple
Yeah.
rocket map. And here's the thing. Basically, so like some numbers first. The maximum speed that you can gain from a rocket, from a single rocket, is about 500 UPS. Now this sounds like a lot at first, and in Quake it is, but there's some differences between Quake and Zonotic weapons that I'm going to get to in a bit. The way you would want to start a rocket map usually is with just something like this. You can see I can gain 950 UPS with a single rocket. Now why does that work? When I said the maximum speed I can gain from a rocket is 500 UPS, look at what I'm doing with my angle. And what key I'm pressing. I'm pressing only A when I'm doing this, right?
Yeah.
They can see my keys, right?
Yeah, of course.
So what I'm doing is I'm essentially walking into the wall. You can see I can walk along the wall with almost 500 UPS just by angling myself correctly. And this is not just with this angle. This is if I do it like this as well. You can see that also works. This is, I don't know, I forgot what this was called, but this is a thing that Reflex and Quake also have, I believe. But yeah, this is how you would do a rocket start.
Yeah.
Very simple. Now, the next thing I want to cover are floor and wall rockets. So, you can see that there's a disparity in height here. I will fall down from this platform. So, the next rocket that I'm going to do is naturally a floor rocket, also because there's a turn here, so I don't want to stick to the right wall all the time. I want to go left. See? Floor rocket. After that, wall rocket there. A height rocket. So this is where I would have to explain something. The faster you go, unfortunately the less consistent rockets become in Reflex. No, not in Reflex, in Zonotic.
Yeah.
I'm caught up between different games right now. But yeah, in Zonotic, the faster you go, the less consistent all weapons become, actually. And I don't know why this is the case. It's kind of annoying, but in Zonotic it is the case, and you're going to have to deal with it if you want to play it. So, like, let's say at 2,000 units per second, it's going to be really difficult for you to accelerate along a wall, because the rockets will basically explode behind you constantly, rather than actually exploding near you, which would give you speed. So this is where you're going to see me fail a lot of times, especially when I'm trying to gain height on a rocket like that. Now to explain height rockets. You know, if you stand still, the way to gain maximum height would be to aim right below you. Right? That makes sense. But the faster you go in Zonotic, the further ahead of yourself you're actually going to aim. Let's say I want to gain height right here. I would actually have to aim significantly ahead of myself. You can see I was aiming at the ground like this, rather than like that. Let's try to do a rocket straight down at that speed.
Yeah, because what happens is really you're going faster than the rocket itself, so it kind of lags behind you, so that's why you're shooting a little bit ahead. But also there is a splash thing going on that factors in, but generally that's how I think of it.
Let's also make this clear. I forgot about this. Rockets travel at a static 1000 UPS. So
Yeah.
if I can show that. You can see I'm barely traveling faster than the rocket. This map is not really a great map to showcase that, but I don't think we should.
We could
Switch
show it in
See?
beta 6 if you want later.
Nah, that's fine. They saw
Yeah.
it right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm basically traveling the exact same speed. It's 1000 UPS flat. And this is going to come in handy for a trick later on. But I think first we should show the demo of this map.
But also,
Okay.
Donald,
Yeah.
one thing, we should really break it up a bit more. When you start, when you're hitting the floor after the start, you're hitting the rocket just before you land. Because you want to maintain that speed. Like, you don't land first and then shoot. You shoot before
Yes.
you land a bit.
If I land first and then I shoot, you can see I gain way too much height. I hit the ceiling. I don't want to hit the ceiling there because I'm going to go down later on.
Yeah, again, guys, think
So-
about the splash. Think about how it physically looks, and then it will work out. Mainly, if you're not going too high. If you're not going too fast. If you're going too fast, then laws of physics don't really apply very well. Usually, if you're going more than 2,000 quick units per second, sometimes it's just better not to rocket any walls or just strafe instead, because you can really get punished if you hit it wrong. Like, Donald,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, if you're going really fast,
If you're going
there's
really
a
fast and
percent of a chance where you can really screw yourself up.
Yeah, like it's possible that you somehow, I don't know how it happens, but that the rocket somehow explodes in front of you,
Yeah.
which I don't know how because you're traveling faster than the rocket, but it's it's zoonotic. So
Maybe some
No,
splash, some splash physics.
some stuff like that, but
Yeah.
basically you can really fuck yourself over. Cuz like that will lose you like 1000 UPS in an instant, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, let me commentate this because I can't commentate when you show the demo.
Alright.
So rocket start. That's a floor rocket. That's a wall rocket. This is a height rocket. Floor rocket. Wall rocket. Wall rocket. Height rocket. Floor rocket. Floor rocket.
Yeah. Well, that last height rocket is a very subtle height rocket. I mean,
Yeah. The faster you go, the less height you can gain from a height rocket. I mean, okay, do we really need to show the demo now? I just did a run, basically.
yeah, like in slow mo, maybe I'll show some.
Okay, sure.
Especially the height rockets, because when you're going fast, it's kind of hard to see the angle you're picking because it's so fast.
Because of this, I prefer using walls to gain height. Actually, that's gonna be something that I'll talk about in a minute. So, I guess while Dekry is still loading the replay, are you watching it already, or?
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, I noticed that you have an alternate start as well. Okay, so here's the wall rocket. Height rocket, you see he shot a little bit ahead of himself. Wall rocket there. Gets this height because of the ramp, so hits the ceiling a little bit. So it's not perfect, but good enough to make the first. And the last floor rocket didn't register because it was. Well, he was going a bit too fast, and the rocket didn't catch up to him very well. So yeah, very very good. It's a good idea that we showed the demo because it was very apparent. The height rocket especially. We saw it in slow mo. Good stuff. Yeah.
Hang on. Okay. Here's something that I want to talk about because Miriam mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going at high speed, this is not really a good map to show that.
You don't want to go to beta 6 maybe because you can really get a lot of speed on the strafe, where we showed the strafe. If you want to just rocket
sure,
the walls.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, in retrospect, we should have voted for that map when we were teaching wall strafing, but who cares?
It's not on the server.
It isn't? Wow, that's
No.
great. That's great, dude.
So guys, Paker,
Oh yeah,
Thank
Paker.
you again.
Paker, if you are watching this, we would like beta 6 on the server. I don't know.
Cost 1 beta 7B. We would love that on the server. Thank you.
I thought we were gonna be perfect today,
Yeah,
man.
in the meantime, we're gonna go to a map called Goth Rockets or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's also something called rocket stacking, and all the Reflex players, all the Quake players, if there's any Quake players watching, they will already know what this is because it's very, very important over there. But in Zonotic, I don't see it as much. The only player that I see doing it is P3. And basically what it is since rockets travel at a very reasonable speed of 1,000 units per second, you can easily stack multiple rockets on top of each other by going at that speed. Right there, I did a 2x rocket jump. I shot a rocket at the wall. I was going at around 1,000 units per second, and then I shot another rocket once I was actually at the wall.
Yep.
Basically doubled the upward momentum that I got off of that because it was 2 rockets.
We call that
Otherwise, it would
rocket
have
catching, actually.
Yeah, Dekry calls it that. I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Well, it's, I don't know. Lots of people call it that way, but you know,
Yeah,
we all
I mean,
come from different places in the world.
Yeah, call it what you want, it's still the same thing.
But the main point is you want to catch the rocket in such a way, like you want to shoot the second rocket just as the first one is touching it. Like, watch this. So that gives you the most benefit. If they're desynchronized, then it's not so good.
Yeah.
By the way,
They have to be on top of each other.
is that a map we want Casey to try, or?
This one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so, right?
No. But yeah, basically, this is one of the tricks on the map. There's a couple more, like after this rocket stack. Okay, I failed that one, kinda. But you want to fall down here, and you also want to shoot rocket while you're falling. You can see I was falling ahead of the rocket, so that, again, I was able to stack a rocket, one that I shot earlier, and the one that I shot while I hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be really apparent, I think, in the demo. And this is just basically a very difficult rocket map with a lot of like difficult tricks. See, I can't get the timing right sometimes. But this is really a map that you want to play if you want to practice your rocket skills.
But also, it just feels great doing this. I mean, catching
Yeah,
rockets.
it's very fun.
Height jump. Yes, you made it. And then going around.
This climb is really difficult, but I think I nailed it in the demo, which I think you can show now.
Yeah. In fact, this is a great opportunity to talk about rocket climbing as well, as I show it. Let's see. Goth rockets.
Henry Chinaski, we're gonna, well, yeah, so we're not going to because we already have, but these maps are all from a list of essential maps that I, well, basically, like, collected, sort of, that I think every player who learns XDF should play. We made a forum post on the Zonotic forum about this Academy series, and it's gonna be, you're gonna find it there, basically, because it's already on there.
Yeah, I've posted that already.
You posted it?
Yeah. The map list.
Yeah, can you put the forum link in the description, though, eventually?
Okay. Alright, this is the run.
Also, oh, yeah, right, this is the run, sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah, now this rocket was on the ramp. That gets a lot of good height. Some wall rocketing. By the way, if you have a choice between wall rocketing and floor rocketing, it's better to choose wall rocketing if you want just forward, because it's just more stable and even better. Alright, let's see this rocket climbing. Basically, you can see he's shooting. Oh, okay, well, there wasn't really any wall climbing there, a little bit, because you're just focusing on a different method there, the faster one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, do we need to explain everything else about this map, or can we, like, move on to something else?
Well, the rocket launcher climbs, again, can you just show it live, because that last part, you can
Like,
you
you
do
mean
it.
just upward climbing?
Yeah, just upward climbing.
Alright, so this is essentially the angle that you want to climb at.
So it's
You don't
like,
want to look straight down, because
Yeah.
if you look straight down, your rocket won't hit the wall.
Yeah. What happens
You
if
wanna
you're
look-
looking a bit ahead, though?
Let me show you. You're still gonna go up, but it's gonna be at less of a rate, and if you really look at it, it just gets really slow.
Yeah.
Eventually, you won't be able to go any further up. Like, don't do this, alright? Don't look at the wall. It'll still sort of work, but then eventually you'll fall down.
Yeah, you'll figure it out pretty quickly, what angle you want, but it's, just barely more than the 0, like maybe 10 degrees or, I don't know, something like that. And some climbs are really high, so it really matters a lot what angle it is, because it's going to pay off in the end. Also, Donald, have you ever seen these maps where, like, with a ridiculously high climb, where you actually drop down, catch a rocket, and start over?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if there's any, but we're probably not going to be able to show you the map, but the concept is as follows. If the climb is too high, or like really high, what you do is you climb a little bit first, and then what you do is you fall back down, and as you fall, you shoot a rocket under your feet, and then catch it with a second rocket, basically, stacking rockets. And that will give you a faster initial vertical velocity, and that will build up, and you will actually win. So it might sound like it's stupid because you're wasting like 4 seconds in the beginning, but really it can pay off in the end if the climb is high enough.
This is one of them, if you want to spectate.
Okay, sure.
So this is a big fall, and then another climb up. What you could do is you could just normally climb this up, but what Dekry just said is you can sort of do this, and then if you're not crap like me, you can
yeah, you're a bit
stack
too
rocket
late
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it, but it's definitely a strat, and I see it a lot in Quake.
Mhm.
But in Xonotic, like I said, Xonotic's mentality is a bit different from Quake, so you won't really see it here as much. This is a map that we'll be coming back to later. But right now I want to explain some more quirks of the rocket launcher and how you can use it
Yeah.
on a map called R7-Persian. And what I'm going to show you is essentially a pre-jump. And what that means is that you do some stuff before you start the round timer or the map timer, such that you can gain some sort of advantage. Some people will run around in a circle before they trigger the map timer.
Uh-oh.
But on this map, it's a lot more elaborate than that, and the lighting is really fucked up here, so you might want to change that. So this is normally a strafe map, but there's a hidden rocket launcher, which is right here, and you can pick it up, and using this rocket launcher you can escape from the start area without triggering the timer. So if I shoot 2 rockets, I can get out of the starting area without having triggered the start timer. This way I can get the rocket launcher, and already I would have a big advantage, because now I can play the entire map as though it was a rocket launcher map, instead of just strafing. But if I can do this live, I'm going to take it a step further. Okay, that's basically what you want to do. I didn't end up triggering the timer, but using this method you can start the run with like 1400 UPS.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. I mean, usually it feels so good when you discover something like this.
Yes, it's very satisfying.
Some people don't even want to share their video or demo of that run because they want to keep it secret, but I'm not an advocate of that. I think we should all learn under the same conditions.
Yeah, all learn from each other.
Yeah, and just improve on that. But as long as, sometimes maybe you would, if there's a competitive tournament or something and you intend it to be secret, then maybe, yeah, okay. And I think Kizabot wanted to run this, right?
Kizabot?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Alright,
let's see what you can do there.
Yeah, the thing is, Donald does that really reliable.
Yeah.
I can't get it to work like all the time.
Okay. So all this doesn't matter. I mean, it's all pre-jump.
Yeah. The speed at which you do this part is irrelevant. Take your time.
Oh, that's almost
Nope.
very close. That's very close. Very good from the first try, really. But Donald, I saw you do the second rocket at an angle. Can you explain this?
Okay, so the reason for that is if you shoot, are you spectating me or?
No. I'm spectating cases, but you can just talk about it. Unless
Alright,
unless you feel like it's paramount to show it.
I think it's quite important to show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So if I shoot the rocket in the middle, right here, rather than at the side, I'm gonna have to try to balance myself in the middle after already being hit by a rocket. There's no guarantee that if I get hit by this rocket, I will go straight up. There's no guarantee of that. I might go this way, I might go that way. So it's easier for me to just, once I get hit by this rocket, immediately move in this direction. And then if I move too far, that's not a problem because I get caught by the corner. So it's easier for me to just walk blindly into a corner than to try to balance in the middle of it.
Yeah, and also with the first rocket, you can kind of decide which way you're gonna like. It's kind of easy to control. The first rocket you can basically stand in such a way that the rocket just boosts you a bit at the angle, and you can choose a direction. So it's not completely random.
Yeah. Also, the roof is here.
Yeah.
So even if I were to hit the second rocket in the middle, I would want to go to the side anyway.
Less height. Yeah.
So yeah, you can go back to Keza if you want.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay, so I might try this.
Try it at an angle.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Nice.
You're very talented.
Sure.
Okay, let's see if you can complete this map.
Oh god.
By the way, guys, Mirio has been dropping some knowledge bombs in the chat as well, so make sure you pay attention to that. Stuff we haven't mentioned.
What are
like
some
if you climb, you can count the number of rockets that you shoot, and you can measure how quickly you're climbing by that.
Oh yes, good tip. So,
Okay, so
that's a trap there. It's a jump pad, you're supposed to jump over it. But obviously you can see that he prefers floor rocketing a lot and totally ignores the wall rocketing.
Yes.
So, Keza, our advice is explore the wall rocketing. You'll find that it's more stable and faster in some situations. Okay, we could move on, I guess.
Very conditional advice.
Yeah.
Alright, do you think we should mention anything else about rockets? Otherwise I'll just do a quick TLDR.
I think that's all we wanted to talk about.
Alright, so the TLDR is you can gain almost 500 units per second from a rocket. You can shoot either off the wall or on the floor. If you shoot on the floor, you have to shoot slightly before you land. If you shoot off of a wall, you can shoot whenever you want, basically. If you want to gain height, you will almost always have to aim ahead of yourself. The faster you go, the further ahead of yourself you will have to aim. Using the rocket on a wall instead of on the floor in front of you will help. Like, if you look at me right now,
I am.
I'm going at like, okay, this is actually a bad spot. Alright, I'm going to go at like 1500 units per second.
Yeah.
And I shoot at the wall and I don't hit a stair. You can see the height I gain. Like I said, this is kind of a bad place to show it, but you can see I gain a lot of height even though I go at 1000 units per second.
Yeah, and I think if we want to talk about numbers a little bit, if you're going above 1550 or around 1600, don't expect to make a high jump from the floor very well.
Yes.
It's really hard. It's not
just inconsistent.
It's very inconsistent. Yeah, you're gonna miss it most likely. So if you have a wall near there, if you shoot the wall at a steeper angle, if you're going fast, you want to basically shoot inside the wall. Really, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say, right?
Yeah, I'm sure people who played Bug 25 a lot know what I'm talking about.
But really, the most important lesson here, again, is that for weapons especially, you have to feel your way around them. Like, we can't explain to you, oh, you have to aim 15.3 repeating degrees into the wall. That's just not how it works. You have to find out how they work. All we can do is just give you some general pointers and directions.
Yeah, so
And
look
this
at the
is gonna
movement
be-
here. just
Yeah, like
flicking against the wall, just sort of like this. Yeah, just fast flick, kind of backwards a little bit. Depends on the speed, of course. The faster you go, again, the less stable it becomes. But if you really want to push it to 3,000, which is possible, if you're lucky enough to be consistent, then you want to shoot a little bit again, a little bit in front, not as much backwards, because then the backwards hitting will not do anything for you.
yeah.
Okay.
If we had a ramp to showcase like super high, a map, sorry, to
Mhm.
showcase super high speed rocketing, we would. But you know, Paker fault, we can't. So
Yeah. The Beta 6 magically disappeared after being there in part 1.
so yeah, I think we're gonna move on to Hagar next.
Yeah. Let's go.
So Hagar is basically Zonotic's equivalent of the plasma gun. And I'm going to show you guys a really simple map here. Basically, the difference between Quake's plasma gun and Zonotic's Hagar is that Hagar can go upward infinitely. In Quake, there's a limit to how high you can go. In Zonotic, there's not. But in Zonotic, you can't gain as much speed from plasma. So we have a wall here that we have to climb to the end of. And if you're spectating me?
Yeah.
This is going to be essentially how one of those climbs might look. You could see I started out like this with W and A, and this is to gain speed. And then once I have enough speed, I only hold W and basically aim below myself. So this is to gain speed, this is to maintain height.
Yeah.
And at a certain speed, simply because these are projectiles, these projectiles will explode slightly behind you even if you press W only. So let's see that again. I will gain speed even when I hold only W. See that? Very simple.
Yeah.
Now, you don't aim directly at the wall. This is the same as with the rocket launcher. The faster you go, the more ahead of yourself you will aim. You
Yeah.
can see I slowly transition.
Yeah, you could see him changing an angle slightly the faster he goes, and it's really important. And also, if there would be a longer distance to cover, and you could accelerate to, let's say, 1600, then it becomes a little bit, again, less stable, for similar reasons with the rocket launcher. So you might find yourself falling, and then when you do fall, the best tip is basically stop haggering, kind of maybe change the angle of the Hagar to the other direction, so you kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah, like look at what I'm doing right here. I'm almost aiming ahead of myself.
Yes.
At the end.
Very nice.
And this is because I want to land up there. You can see even at like 1200 units per second, I was gaining height because I was aiming so far ahead of myself. And this is obviously a very ideal scenario. It's just a flat wall. So if you get a scenario like this, where you have to traverse some kind of obstacle course, it's going to look a lot different.
Yeah, there is
Oh,
no.
that was nice.
Yeah, that was good. Because of that optimal height that you barely made it. But what I wanted to say is that there is no one single recipe for the wall haggering, because it really depends on your situation at the moment of your haggering. Where are you falling? Are you gaining speed? Are you going what direction? So it's like balancing a cup of water while running, basically.
Yes,
You're kinda,
let's say, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to pick what angle you want based on your situation, really.
Let's say I didn't have to go that high, right? Because at the start, you can see me do a big climb, right? When I do that, I go very high at the start, and then I sort of level out. If I didn't have to go that high, I would immediately start out like this and gain a lot more speed a lot more quickly.
Yeah.
But, you know, I trade that for my height. So again, this is a trade-off between speed and height. Very simple.
Yeah.
And I think Keza can definitely run this map, so I'll give him the opportunity to do so.
Okay, so let's. No.
Yeah, that was a bit more aggressive. Try to climb a little bit more vertically.
You're also aiming, yeah? There you didn't actually jump, but you still did it.
Yeah.
So you can see, even with little like specialized Hagar practice, a map like this would be easy enough, except for these jumps. But like the Hagaring itself would be easy enough, such that you could definitely do it. Now, I don't want to embarrass him if he can't do this section, so I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, let's try the Hagar part at the start one more time.
Okay.
Because
You're not jumping.
I expect big things. Yeah, jump. Oh yeah.
No, that's not enough height.
Yeah, you know what the problem
There
is.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't get any time penalty for climbing up at the start.
If you want to climb up only, you don't hold A. Exactly. So you do that, then you transition into holding W and A, and like you change the angle as well. There you go. That's a lot better.
Yeah, again, it brings up a point. If you guys want to just Hagar up, then just basically the same angle as the rocket launcher, really.
So you can see he...
disconnected from your channel.
Alright, well someone disconnected. I
Yeah.
guess that was Paker.
Yeah.
Paker fault. Alright, well you can see it's a very simple concept to grasp, and with a little bit of practice, I think Keza can definitely nail this section.
Yeah.
What he does not is maintain height at the end of it. Eventually you will have to stop looking behind yourself, and like I did, look below
Oh,
yourself.
that
Like
was a good one. Yeah.
Very nice.
You're balancing your angles. That's what you want to do. I mean, this map is kind of forgiving because
Yeah.
the distance is not that long, so you can get away by just falling. If you go high enough, you can just go crazy and fall, and you still made it like that.
Yeah.
That's a wrong way of doing it, but for this map, it works. I mean, you want to
So,
be there.
yeah, I mean, you can see this section is quite simple. Keza has gotten it already.
Yeah.
No, don't look like that at the wall. You're almost looking frontally at the wall. You want to look basically below yourself. And then the faster you go, the further ahead of yourself you also look. Like that, there you go.
Nice, dude. That's exactly what
Very
you want
nice.
to do. 1,100. Just as good as
Alright.
Donald. Maybe even
I
better,
thi-
slightly.
I think on that note, we can either show the demo for this map or move on to RPG.
I think we can move on, dude.
Alright, let's move on to RPG.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next map is a very complex Hagar only map, which I think is absolutely wonderful if you want to learn the Hagar. And especially, it's a lot of fun if you're already good at the Hagar and you want to push yourself. So, this is a map that has a lot of tight corners, a lot of difficult, quick turns, and I don't know, should I try to do it live, or do you want to just show the demo?
Just try to explain what you mean first, and then we'll show the demo.
Okay, so the first thing I do is, this is the teleporter. Remember, if you go and go into a teleporter with high speed, you will go out with like 600-esque units. This is a shortcut. I try to gain a lot of height here so I can jump to this pad. I try to not land on this, but like go out of this and immediately land down here such that I can maintain my speed between there and here.
What you're doing is Hagar jumping.
Yes, I will explain that in a minute. I gain height here. I gain a lot of height here because I need to get over this bar there. Here it's another case of just gaining height.
Something to speed up.
Just speed. Here, I don't want to hit that up there. That was a mistake. But basically, what I was doing is... Can I get up there? Yes, I can. What I was doing is, since I was coming from up there, I was trying to avoid hitting this ramp. Because if I hit this ramp, I will gain a lot of useless height here. That will just delay my fall.
Half a second at least.
Yes, so that is a big mistake. So what you want to do instead is you want to plasma from this and try to sort of plasma into the gap like this.
Mhm.
And then down here it's just another normal climb.
Yeah, another key point you want to pay attention to is that sometimes he Hagars the walls when really you might think there is no necessity for it, but really Hagar speeds you up pretty well.
Yes.
Even when you're on the floor, if there is a wall and you can Hagar it.
By the way, there I do one quick flick because I don't reliably get this jump without that. You can see I sort of fall a little bit short, So
Yeah.
with the Hagar, you can sort of help yourself and
Oh, yeah.
get that jump.
And also, Donald, this part right here. There's another way. I don't think it's as good, but we should probably investigate it, maybe. So, get to that part again, and where you gain a lot of height on the columns. You see this wall you're haggering right now. Okay, no. The other one on the right. This one, yeah. If you can turn and hagger that wall instead, yeah, like this.
That's also possible, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do that because what you will often see is that one player will find a route and they will stick with it.
Mhm.
They don't really look at other routes. So Dekry found this route on the other wall.
Yeah.
I didn't. And this is just sort of, I don't know which one's faster. I couldn't tell you.
I think yours is safer because the turn right there is
Yes.
very uncomfortable. You have to kind of turn 90 degrees and then stick to the wall, and kind of you have to have a lot of precision on my way of doing things. Oh, very nice. So let's go ahead and watch the demo.
Yes.
Our OPG. How's the chat doing, by the way?
Oh, it's pretty dead right now.
Okay. Again, we're doing this stuff also for you to come back and look at it again, because there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
So it's going to be available on YouTube. This map is actually pretty complicated.
It is, yeah. And a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So this map is like you want to really take some time to practice on it.
Yeah. Like I did in that demo.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's this one. Okay, here he goes and flicks the wall. Climbs this one to gain height. Air control. Just sways in. Oh no, that was a fail. So here's the this is the two runs that he failed basically. Is getting inside that little window. So it's definitely a bottleneck on this map. So let's see how he deals with that. Okay, that's very good height. He didn't really have to optimize the height there. Okay, another Hagar jump. Gaining height over here. Just enough. He doesn't want to go too high. He kind of knows the feeling already of the map. And obviously you've already seen him doing at high speed. I mean full speed, not slow-mo. And he really he's very conscious of where the walls are, and you know, sticks to the walls really fast. Another height and turn around. 180. The Hagar jump. He hits that ramp, gets the speed bonus. Speeds up significantly. Look at that, 300 units just by haggering the wall when he could have just not done it. But he chose to, and this is good. Very nice. Lots of things to look out for on this map.
Yeah, a lot of little details. Do we want Keza playing this, or?
We can have him try, but this is really hard. We don't expect him to
Will
taste
we?
this. Well, if you want, I mean, let's give it a try. One second.
God.
Wait for me to reconnect. Spectate. There we go. Sure.
So
Yeah, try not haggering this wall. Just land on the thing.
On the little ramp there.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's all you need, you know.
Yeah.
You can see there's a lot of angle finding that he has to do.
Mhm.
And if you play Hagar for a long time, those angles are very much ingrained in your muscle memory. So when I was playing, you could see me flicking instantly to the angles that I needed, because I just don't have to find them anymore. It's the same thing with strafing, you know. At the start you have to find the strafe regions, later on you can just flick to them, no problem.
Wall haggering. This is the part
Yeah.
where you want to take advantage of wall haggering. Oh, very nice. Good stuff. Again, wall haggering. Great. Yeah, it's, again, some of the turns,
It's very difficult.
you have to
definitely.
kind of take time on it. Yeah, but go ahead, try. Nice. Very cool. A little bit more. Try a little bit more this time.
You can just Hagar on the left wall too.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, again, I very much recommend this, even to the Reflex players. In Reflex, this is also a very good map to learn Plasma, but I assume it hasn't been ported to Reflex. So mappers, get on that.
Right now, Kizabot was basically looking for where to go.
Yeah, like I said, very difficult.
Oh,
map.
very nice move there. Did you see that? He
Yeah.
avoided the ramp.
You avoided the ramp. That's what you want to do there.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
not bad.
All right. That's Hagar basically in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's one thing that I still want to show,
Mhm.
which was something that Dekry mentioned. So we're gonna move to another map.
Okay. What did I mention?
The plasma hopping.
Oh,
or
right,
Hagar
right,
hopping.
right. Yeah.
So this is a much bigger thing in Quake than it is in Zonotic. But in Zonotic, if you shoot the ground with the Hagar shortly before you land, sort of like a floor rocket, but with a Hagar projectile, you can gain about 50 UPS per projectile. And this is something that you see me do on this map. It's not that consistent because it's kind of difficult, but it's definitely worth it, especially in parts like this. You can see me go from 1,000 to 1,050, 1,050 to 1,100.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah.
So this is again something that you really have to find the feel for.
Mhm.
It's just something that exists. If you want to try looking into it, definitely do it. But I can't like mathematically explain how you should do it.
Yeah,
to
it's
be
a bit
honest.
more sensitive than the rocket launcher because the splash area is less. I'm guessing that's why.
Yes, a
um,
lot less.
Physically speaking. But also, Donald, there is another technique. This map is not really
Yeah, I
asking
know.
for it. Haggering the floor, yeah.
So there are maps which we don't have in the server. So
We
I
can
can't
show.
you.
Beta 6 is not here. Thanks, Paker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do this. If the map allows for it, you can do this. You can just sort of Hagar on the floor, which is a lot faster. You can gain a lot of speed in a very short amount of time. But especially on a floor like this, that is kind of inconsistent.
Yeah.
And you have to look at the ground while
Yeah.
you're doing it.
You either have to have a really good feel for the map layout, or not that use it on the map without so many turns. But also, what you need to do when you're haggering the floor is you can see him strafing actually, holding W
Yes,
and a
so
strafe key.
what I don't do is just hold W. Really you don't get that much speed from that. What you really want to be doing is strafing while you're doing it. So you can see I really gain a shit ton of speed there.
Yeah.
And this map is actually kind of interesting because it has a rocket sink after that, so I think the demo would be kind of cool here.
But also, Donald, can you run it one more time with Hagar hops? Yeah. Yeah, I
get
mean,
all three there.
in the end, he's gaining 1,300 quick units per second when he's doing floor haggering, but since there's a teleporter ahead, that speed doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah.
But if there was no teleporter, then maybe haggering the floor would have been a better
Yes.
solution. So you kind of like need to evaluate that.
But you can see, even while I'm haggering the floor, I only get 1,200 there.
Yeah, you had a 1,300 run, but again, it's one of the few.
Very inconsistent
Very
haggering the floor.
inconsistent, Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, I think showing the demo would be neat here.
Okay.
Because I will not get that sync.
All right. Elko EH BCDE. We have it. We're almost perfect. Yeah, but there are some maps that allow floor haggering a lot. so you want to watch out for that trick. I think this is gonna be a fail. Yeah, that was a really bad jump. I'll be surprised if this is first. Oh, okay, no. Good. Starts with a circle jump there. You can see like 50 quick units per second increase. An A-turn over here. Climb, because why not? You gain speed. Catching the rocket. Or stacking. Yeah, very nice. Very nice climb. Yeah.
Boost, for if you want to watch it at normal speed. Sorry I didn't see this earlier, but like I said, all the runs are uploaded to Paker's YouTube channel. Paker Zonotic on YouTube in normal speed. Like I said, sorry I didn't address that earlier. I think that pretty much sums it up for the Hagar. I'm gonna do a little bit of a TLDR.
Yeah, sure.
If you hold only W and you look right below yourself, that is the optimal way to climb. If you're going at significant speed and you want to only maintain height, then holding W like that and
Beautiful.
sometimes aiming ahead of yourself the faster you go is the way to go. If you want to gain speed primarily with Hagar, you want to do basically like strafing like this. So you want to do W and a strafe key. The strafe key that points towards the wall. Right? I don't want to hold A here because that goes away from the wall. I want to go towards the wall. And yeah, if you
One thing we should mention is if you're fast on the ground before you're haggering, and then you're about to hagger a wall, you know, be aware of your speed, because then you know you'd have to fire at an angle like this. You know, he goes directly at a pretty steep angle when he's climbing that wall or haggering that wall, because he's already fast. Yeah.
It's a bit difficult on this map because the walls aren't flat.
Yeah.
But the point still stands. So yeah, I think that's all I need to really explain here. If you really want to practice it, look at the essential map list that I put on the forum post. It has, I think, 3 Hagar only maps and then a couple of combo maps in which Hagar is very much important. So yeah, I think that's all there is to that. I think we should move on to the Mortar, and the Mortar, or Mortar I guess, is sort of Zonotic's equivalent of the grenade launcher, but not really. You'll see what I mean. Dekry, this is sort of your domain, so I'll leave you to it.
Well, alright. I can jump right into the demo, actually.
Sure.
But what I wanted to say is, before anything, is that the difference between the Quake grenade launcher and this Mortar is, first of all, there's primary, which you can use to hit the walls, just like you would use a rocket launcher or the floor. And also there is secondary, but the secondary detonates a lot faster than you would. The time of detonation is a lot faster. Alright, let's just see it in action real quick.
You should do like ultra slow-mo on the grenade catching part.
Yeah.
So people can see.
One sec. Let me bind this, because actually, yeah, I don't know why I don't have the bind on the super slow. I'll just write in console. It's fine. So R7 Oblivion. Well, I'll just use 1 second. Bind. Let's say T.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm just fast forwarding. That's
Alright.
a lot of tries. But you can you will see some cool rocket stacking and some tricks with the Mortar. Secondary. Wow, that's long. I must have had a lot of time in the past.
Yeah, one thing you can take away from this is that a CTS or a defrag run is not done in an instant. It's grinded for a long time.
Unless you're super duper talented.
Like Kizabot.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're in 149 minutes already and still going.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We should probably
must
talk about something substantial right now at this point.
Like what?
Well, after the mortar, we'll be talking about comboing, and we'll show you some cool stuff. When you're climbing, you can combo weapons, and that's
Yes.
gonna be pretty cool. Okay, we're finally somewhere close.
He forgot the point in 0.1. Do you know what that means, Dekry?
Forgot the point on 0.1. Yeah, yeah. Maybe he's talking about slow-mo.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So first of all, here's some rocket stacking. I wasn't exactly perfect there. I had to wait for it to land. But yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I know what he means now. So here's the secondary mortar. Shoot it through the hole, get in the telly, and then it detonates under your feet. You go right there. And again, shooting 2 rockets at roughly the same time would bring me exactly on top there. There's gonna be more mortar material coming up after this. Oh yeah, here it is. So what you do is, in order to gain initial height, you basically use a secondary mortar and then a primary mortar at the same time. So they have to detonate at the same time, basically. If you don't do that, you have a very, by the way, a couple of fails here. So if anyone want to grab it first, go ahead. This will make it easier. But what I wanted to say is, if you're not using a secondary grenade, then that would be a problem because your initial boost, your initial vertical velocity would be small, and you won't be able to stack good speed on top of that. So you need a good start. Some mortaring here. So as you can see, primary mortar climbing is actually not very optimal at all. It barely makes a difference there. So it's good to start with a secondary. That's another rule of thumb. And some haggering to finish this off. Oh, okay. Done there. We don't have any mortar maps.
I have one here already, like that has it.
Yeah, we should probably go over wall hitting, if you can.
Alright, well, you mean like comboing in a wall climb?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that too.
Alright, so in Zonotic, you can switch between the Mortar and the Rockets and the Hagar. So all the 3 weapons that we covered so far very quickly. And this will allow you to climb a wall very quickly because you can just kind of combo them together. This is me just switching between the Mortar and the rocket launcher. And you can see how quickly I can climb this wall.
Yeah, this
And,
happens because when you're switching weapons, the time for the switching, if you switch weapons, then your rate of fire increases really, because you don't have that delay in between rockets. You can just cancel that delay with a good boost of mortar.
So yeah, and this is, like I said, very useful for wall climbs, but believe it or not, you can actually use this with just a wall like acceleration. You can see I was able to gain 1600 by the end of this haul.
Yeah.
Which is better than the 1400 that I was able to get there. So
yeah.
Generally you want to combo things together. If you were to not have the Mortar, for example, you would want to combo together the Hagar and the Rocket, you know, stuff like that. Here, you remember here I was talking about like earlier hitting like a 2x rocket? This is actually better done with the Hagar. Because the Hagar, like I said, can catch you, not like that, but it can catch you if you fall, just like Justin Bieber. So, if you were to, like I just did, fall and then over here catch yourself with the Hagar, you will save a lot of time.
Yeah, it's much better than rocket stacking. But again, you need good timing for that, because if you let yourself fall down too long, then you gain that unnecessary momentum. It will be harder to combat it.
Yes, this is very difficult with the Hagar, so don't expect to get this right immediately.
Yeah, again, it's a situational map thing. I think the mapper kind of set it up like that, and you'll see that set up a lot actually. Many maps use that trick, so it's definitely something to note.
So yeah, that's just something. The mortar, like Dekry said, climbing with the mortar itself really isn't that good. So if you get it in a map, the only purpose usually is for you to combo it. But like Dekry said, there's this. If you were to only have a mortar, and you sometimes have to cover a lot of height, you can combo a mortar hit like that. Dekry did it somehow differently. He did it like this. I can't do that. That's too difficult for me. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's. I think there's
yeah.
less time. You have to wait, right? There's less wait time.
The thing is, it depends on. Like, it will explode a certain time after it hits something.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I were to shoot it up, it will hit the floor, and then it will explode. But if I make it hit the wall, it explodes almost instantly.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you're kind of forced to hit it up, though. Shoot it up, because if the walls are too close together, I mean, these are fine. But if they're narrower, if the corridor is narrower, then you would have to shoot up. Not because if you shoot against the wall, you don't know where it's gonna blow up. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you want to show this demo? Pornstar
Sure,
dash and
sure.
C2?
This would be a great combo demonstration.
Yeah.
We don't have this.
Aw, Paker.
Interesting.
Okay, you want to show nude dash momentum too? I know you have that.
Yeah, 1 second.
Alright, so sorry guys, this is gonna be a different map because Paker fault.
Wait,
But,
nude what?
Dash momentum 2.
Oh yeah, we don't have that either.
Oh my god.
Dude, I don't know how this happened.
Do you have the mod run thing? The demo?
Let's see. Yeah, I do.
Alright.
Oh no,
this is gonna be a very short map.
Yeah. Is that the bathroom tile map or no? It's different.
Yeah, it is. It's
it is.
bathroom tile map.
Oh, it's got different textures now. Okay, great. It's a lot better. Okay, I think this is it. Alright. Getting through the telly. And then he gets that start. Remember, the one that we showed you in the rocket launcher tutorial. Okay, this is Crylink right now. Crylink is one thing we didn't cover, but it basically works just like the rocket launcher.
We're gonna cover it still, don't worry.
Oh yeah, but it gives you a gigantic boost and the fire rate is more frequent.
It's like the BFG in Quake.
Yeah.
Is that the end of that map?
Yep, that's it.
Do you have Capcorp dash Susix is dead?
Let's see. Yes, I do.
Alright, I would
Imagine
show
that.
that too because that's a very complex combo run.
Alright, let's see. Let's break it down. Bombed.
Again, guys, by the way, I hope you remember this. We're joking when we blame Paker for everything. He's a very valuable and very helpful guy in the community.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I'm showing you guys so many demos, or making Dekry show you them, is because there's just really not that much to explain generally when it comes to weapons. Like I said, it's a lot about feel and the individual map. So it's more important for you to actually play and then look up the #1 runs on whatever map that you're playing than it is to watch some sort of generalized tutorial, because there's just not much we can tell you.
Yeah. I don't really know what to expect, but let's just watch it together. I'm gonna
It's
find
pretty nutty.
yeah. All right, so we seem to find this. Oh, I know this. Actually, I know this map. All right, so here we go. A standard rocket launcher start. Yeah, he just needs to beat this height. This is the high jump, and he helps himself with a rocket launcher there. Falls through. Okay, rocketing the wall. He does a little bit of the rocket catching there. He shoots the rocket in advance to go up here. Haggers that wall. Oh, okay. So it's a drop down, so he doesn't have to keep himself up there. Very fast climb because of, again, rocket stacking. Alright, now look at the comboing here. I expect some comboing. No, he decided to do it. He decided to do it mortar only, which works. But he basically maintained the height. He didn't go up. He just kept shooting in a way that he's not falling, but at the same time he doesn't need to gain height because it was leveled to the finished platform. So very good map to practice weapons.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that's
another map I want to recommend for practicing weapons is East Run.
Yes.
It's quite a longer one. I think it takes 2 minutes.
Something like that, 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and it just combines all weapons possible except Crylink. I don't think Crylink is involved there. And there's also some mortar secondaries involved, and very crucial timing and stuff. So definitely check that out. It's on the harder spectrum of maps.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a little TLDR again. The mortar is primarily not used for climbing by itself. It can do that. The primary does allow you to do that, but that's not really what you want to use it for, because usually when you have something to climb and you have a mortar, you probably have a rocket launcher or a Hagar. What the mortar really shines in is what's called weapon combination, like this, or like I guess just combo runs, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Where you switch between two different weapons, be it the rocket and the mortar, or the rocket and the Hagar, or whatever, two different weapons. And you can switch between them while climbing or even while accelerating along a wall like this, which allows you to really push the limits of how much speed you're able to cram in. And another thing to the mortar is the mortar secondary, which allows you to essentially shoot a grenade like you would in Quake. One thing to point out, in Xonotic, the mortar secondary is not the same strength as a rocket. I know in Quake that the grenade is the same as a rocket strength-wise. This is absolutely not the case. In Xonotic, the mortar is a lot weaker. But you can combo them just like that. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a few things. When you're doing a secondary first, can you shoot up the grenade again? What you're gonna see is the grenade's gonna fall, but then it's gonna bounce on the floor and then start falling again. And as soon as it reaches that peak point of the after the bounce, it blows up. So this is when you wanna use the primary. So this is a little bit of the timing. So you see, it's a very good boost. And also, Donald, one more thing: can you climb the wall with a mortar without the secondary? Just go as much as you can. As you can see. Very bottlenecky. Now drop, and then look at that wall. I want to see the trails, how they disappear. But you can see it gets denser around the middle, so it'll take a very long time to do. Sometimes you don't have a choice but to use the mortar, but usually the walls aren't that high.
Yeah, this is very unusual.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, you want to move on to the Crylink?
Yeah, I think this is the last weapon we're going to cover. Right?
I believe so.
I don't think really. There is one CTS map that I've seen, actually two, that used the laser blaster. But
yeah, but those are Nexus run maps. I mean, that's basically like a rocket.
Yeah, exactly. So if you know the rocket, the Crylink, the mortar, you'll figure it out for the blaster.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I said, the Crylink in Xonotic is the equivalent of the BFG, which, as you can see, just fires a lot of very high impact projectiles. And anybody who's watched... Whoa.
Wait, let me just comment this real quick. It looks like he's just shooting stuff at random. because that's what it looks like, but really not. He knows exactly where the walls are, so it looks kind of crazy, but really.
If you shoot with a BFG, you don't want to shoot individual bullets, really. What you want to do is you want to keep shooting, and then aim in anticipation of how the maps, evolve. So I know that there's a turn coming up over there, right? I don't need to look at it to see that. So I just aim at the wall once the turn happens, right? I don't have to see it happening. I don't have to look at it to see when it does happen, because it's already in the back of my mind, right? Because I've played this map so many times.
Yeah, but
right?
Also the turns are rounded, so even if you don't hit it, even if you hit it just straight on, it will still guide you a little bit to where you need to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of conservation of momentum happening in this map.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's really not much to explain about the Crylink. It's just like, just go ham, go fucking nuts.
Yeah. What we need to say though, that the projectile speed of Crylink is significantly faster than the rocket launcher.
It's 2,000 units per second flat. So if I try to accelerate to that in this little corridor, you can see that when I shot at the end, it didn't go ahead of me.
That was a good attempt though.
You can see very barely goes ahead of me if I go 1,600 units per second. Trust me, they go 2,000 units per second flat.
I trust you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But also one thing, for this particular map, you wanna have a pretty fast rate of fire at all times. But there are maps that you want more control over, and that would require you to fire single shots.
Yeah, you will see at the end of this run, because we're going to show the demo, that in this section I really control my fire, because I have to make a pretty difficult turn here. Right, that's a 180-degree turn.
Yeah. Lots of open area. Do you want to just go ahead and roll the demo?
Sure.
I'll roll it, of course, but... Okay, what's the map? It's GBFG. Okay, that one.
You want to do like an honorary slick part at the end of this?
No, not really. I think the slick part will do as like a specific map. We would want to dissect maybe. So I think it's safe to reveal this now. What we're planning to do with Donald is to keep streaming beyond these basics, and I think one of the best things you could do is to basically showcase a map and then dissect it, analyze it, and I think Slick will be covered more in detail there. Okay, this is the run. It looks really crazy because I'm playing full speed, but I just wanted I just wanted you to see this, how it's done real time, because it's kind of crazy. I think it's important. Very crazy weapon. Alright, now I'm gonna play it again because I wanted to play it twice. This time I'm gonna play it slower. And then you can see what's happening, really. Again, this guy is aware of all these turns. He's done it hundreds of times, so he knows what happens of the map layout. Oh. Wait. Okay, this is it. So as you can see, he's actually, the map is very forgiving. It lets him turn smoothly because of these rounded corners. And he's just switching walls. He knows what, like, when he's turning right, he is switching to the left wall and Krylinks it. And this concept applies. Now he just looks backwards because maybe he doesn't remember where exactly the turns are. This is okay. Lost a bunch of speed there, but then gained instantly because Crylink is so powerful. Again. More Crylink stuff. So there is a pattern here. He's turning right backwards. He's Crylinking the left wall. I'm playing it super slow, by the way, Donald. So
Yeah.
I didn't get to the. Okay, this is the part I think. Yeah, like that's where he's not going nuts. Basically, you see him not really firing rapidly. He wants to control this. So very fine-tuned Crylinking, if at all. I think he's gonna Crylink here. He has to. The floor, preferably. Actually, no. Okay, you did the. You actually did the over-aiming here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it looks like he is missing a lot of Krylinks, but remember, this is at 0.1 slow-mo right now. Okay, he needs to do that hide thing to jump over. And again, another wall. And here's the finish. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're done with that.
Alright, I want to explain, because somebody asked in the chat, how to set up a local CTS run. The thing is, the developers of this game really don't care about CTS, so they made it pretty difficult. By default, if you were to start a match in the so-called CTS mode, the config wouldn't be correct. The physics would be wrong because you wouldn't be using default Zonotic physics. So you have to get the XDF physics from either Paker's repository, which I hope Dekry will link, or somewhere else. But Paker is talking. Okay, Paker is explaining it in chat right now. Paker would know this better than I would, so I think I'll leave him to it. But yeah, regarding the BFG, like I said, there's really not that much, like not that fine tuning that you would see with Hagar or with a rocket. In BFG maps, it's just go ham, you know. You really want to shoot as much as you can, and then when you don't, like in this latter part where I had to slow down, you really want to focus on that instead. Okay, my producer is telling me that the physics config is actually already in the game.
Yeah, producer.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, these guys would know better than me. I just play the game. I don't really like to play it locally because I like to, you know, play on the server, enjoy the community. But
Yeah.
these guys are gonna explain it to you.
I'm the same way. I play online all the time. But that's Crylink. Really, I think the part where you control the speed there with single shots, Donald, I think maybe if you spend a little bit more time on this map, maybe you will find some Crylink fills somewhere, maybe some more.
Yeah.
I don't know. You would have to really practice and test a lot
This
of
map
things.
gets very tedious to grind.
Yeah, because oh my god, yeah, I can imagine you doing this for hours. This is crazy.
But yeah, like, I mean, I absolutely welcome anyone who likes to play BFG maps in Quake to try this, you know, beat my time.
Yeah, and also with Crylink, you can see it's a little bit volatile and very.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pushes you not so hard because you kind of miss that contact point. Sometimes it boosts you really hard, so you kind of have to adjust to the situation fast. And also, if you know how rockets work, if you know how mortars work, you will figure this out pretty quickly because it basically follows similar concepts, just more speed, more boost. That's it for the Crylink, I think. And I think we're close to wrapping it up.
Yeah, I would still want to show. Oh right, we don't have that map, right?
Oh yeah, maybe next time, right?
Let me let me look at the map list. Maybe there's something else we can show.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I think we kind of. Oh, do you have xlarv_df22, the demo?
Yeah, I think so. I saw it. Yep.
Alright, so this run is kind of nutty, and this is definitely at the upper edge of what, you know, movement you can perform in Zonotics. So this is a very hard, very complex weapon run, combo weapon run too.
Something
That,
motivational, right? something to
Yeah.
strive for.
Something to aspire to.
Okay, I think this might be the run. Let's see. Some standard plats in the beginning. What's happening here? Oh no, that's a fail. You decided to restart for some reason. You didn't like your quake units per second, probably. Okay. Oh, that looks much better. Alright, little steps here. Okay, we can see Hagar part there. So, yeah, he's basically adjusting his direction according to the turn. Going pretty fast. Again, rocket stacking, going pretty high. Instant 180. Again, going pretty fast. Very narrow stuff. Yeah. Oh, Crylink over here. Yeah, Donald is a backwards Crylink kind of guy, and I think most are. Just say. Oh yeah, very good map layout awareness there. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
the
for
demo.
Crylink parts, you really need to memorize the map. You need to know where you have to aim ahead of time.
Yeah, this was really good. Try to beat these guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's more maps, but I don't think we need to really show any more demos. Because,
Yeah.
like, we've shown a lot of demos, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I would be fine with wrapping it up with that.
All right. Any questions, guys? Anything? Kesapo, do you have any questions specifically? Anything on?
No, I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, that's good. You know,
It means
it's
we did our jobs.
yeah. So if you have any questions, again, Discord channel, forums, all that.
Yeah,
good
let me
stuff.
get the Discord invite real quick.
Yeah, the hashtag XDF at QuakeNet. All that will help out. Study the demos, watch the vids.
I still can't post links. You didn't mod me.
Oh, all right. But also one other thing, part 1 and part 2 together basically gives you a very solid foundation for any runs, really. You can attempt any map on the server and just practice. You've got all the tools you need. You can watch a few things multiple times just to
Yeah.
get more solid on that stuff.
The point of this series isn't to make you like some sort of pro. The point of this is to get you started and to really provide like the first steps. Like this is like your 101 sort of thing. The way you actually get good at the game is by using this knowledge and then actually playing, gaining experience, and like I said, crucially looking at all the #1 demos that are available online. You know, on YouTube.
Right, and again, as I've already mentioned, we're gonna keep doing this stuff, but now we're gonna change the format a little bit. We're not gonna go basic 101s like this, long ones. We're just gonna dissect maps, analyze them, maybe a few more advanced situational tricks, like for example the jump skipping we did on the
Yeah.
Paker tacos. This is like an example of some kind of like a very subtle technique that you could use. There are many of those we could address. If there's any map that interests you specifically, you can request it. We will make a stream on dissecting that. And one other thing, announcement. Are we gonna reveal the plans for the fall? You know what I mean?
Sure.
All right. Do you wanna?
No, I think I'll let you, because you were the one who came up with that.
All right. So this fall, we're gonna have the XDF World Cup, and we already have the mappers working on it. To some, it may not be big news because we've been talking a lot. So use these tutorials to your advantage to kind of pick up on or brush up on a few things, and then apply them in your practice so you can look extra crispy and sharp in World Cup. And one other announcement. Okay, go ahead, Donald.
Like this is just sort of a general announcement. It's
Yeah.
definitely a thing that'll happen, but we have to finalize all the details still. So you'll hear about it again when it gets more serious. You know, you don't have to keep this in your head.
Yeah, but we want to commit to the fall, and we want to
Yes.
actually tell you guys about that, and this will give extra motivation for the mappers to finish their work, because we've already gone public with it, and we do say it's fall. When exactly, we'll keep you informed. And also one other thing, there will be a part 3, and it is going to be a 101 basic sort of thing, but it's not going to be XDF specific. It's going to be movement specific. And what I'm talking about is for those of you who are duelers or wanted to get into some combat modes, this is going to be for you. This movement we're going to be talking about in part 3 is going to be only vanilla Sonotic XPM specific. And we're going to have a surprise guest. We're not going to reveal his name just yet. This is going to be a surprise, and that's about all I wanted to share.
Dekry said a whole bunch of big words that people not from Zonotic might not understand. XPM means the default Zonotic physics, the one you would encounter if you were playing Zonotic Duel. So, like Dekry said, this is about combat. We want you, this is, when you play CTS, it's very peaceful, nobody's trying to kill each other. But in other parts of the game, the ghetto sort of, you might see people trying to kill each other, so we'll just try to prepare you for that,
Yeah, like for example, myself, I started from XDF, I installed this game, and I went right into it, and I was playing XDF for 4 years without dueling. I think maybe I've tried it once or twice, but then when I decided to pick it up seriously, I found that the skill set that you have in XDF certainly helps, but there's a lot of things to learn. There are a lot of things that are a bit different. We're going to talk about Blaster, because Blaster is one of the main weapons for movement. We're going to talk about some tricks, jump tricks, efficient stuff, movement tips, advices.
How to use the blaster, for example?
Yeah, how to use a blaster efficiently. Like, for example, I see some people blastering, going really super high, and get punished for it. So we're going to explore these pitfalls and make recommendations. And also, it's the movement is very map dependent. Like, for example, one map has one sort of style movement that you might use, and you'll see. It's very packed with information. Gonna be, I hope. Well, yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's part 3, and we don't know the date yet. It's probably not gonna be Saturday this time. It's gonna be a weekday, midweek, maybe Thursday.
Yeah. We'll try to accommodate, our guests' schedule.
So it's gonna be a little bit sooner than Saturday. That's all I can say for now. I'll update the forum post as soon as I settle that. That's it. Thank you guys for being here. And are there any more questions in chat, by the way, Donald?
Not that I can see.
All right. Thank you guys for being with us.
Yeah. Thank you guys.